Game Masters. Death in your game should absolutely have consequences. We've all been there in D&D before when a character goes down and everyone still keeps doing stuff and they're rolling death saves and finally they get to 2 down and so finally someone runs over, they save them, they bring them back up, they jump right back into the fight, they're in the fray, no harm, no foul, and that is absolutely unrealistic. And yeah, you might say, well, the game is a fantasy game and everything's a little bit unrealistic. And yes, you're 100% correct. But it's also narratively boring. If you can just jump back up at any time and keep fighting, then it doesn't really make death that impactful, especially when resurrection and things like that exist. In Daggerheart, I'm really liking what they do with death saves. They allow you to make death moves. So, like everything in this game, it is narratively focused. So, if you want to go out in a blaze of glory, you can do that. You can choose to die in a blaze of glory, and yeah, you can do that in D&D if you want. But mechanically, it's not there. This has mechanics for it. You can avoid death, like in D&D and other systems, but that comes with an impact of scars, and scars are permanent things that happen to you, and you can choose to do that. It says you don't have to do that, but there is a mechanic in here for it. And finally, you can risk it all. You can roll your hope and fear dice. If you roll with hope, then you jump back up with some HP. If you roll your fear dice, then you are dead permanently. I like giving that consequence to death because anyone who's been close to death, and personally I haven't, but I've talked to people who have, it changes you mentally forever. And the closer you are to the moment that that happened, the more changed you are. And so there should be an impact to this. We're creating our own system, and in ours, we are making a mechanic where if you are down for less than a full round and someone pops you back up, no harm, no foul. But the more rounds you're down, the closer you are to death, the more permanent issues you're going to have as a character because you're that much closer to actually dying. And if you actually die and some way they resurrect you, there will be consequences to that. So my personal preference is that death should have consequences. You shouldn't be able to just jump back up and run into the battle again. It's boring. Another thing Daggerheart does that's really cool, they also have stress points, and I'll talk about that in a later point. But everything should have, if you're pushing yourself, everything should have consequences. So, what do you think about this? Do you like being able to jump back up and get right back in the fight, or do you think there should be some narrative consequences? Let us know.